crisis communication workshop is happening at a very critical time for us here in St. Kitts, and I dare say throughout the entire Caribbean region. And it is therefore of tremendous value and significance to all of us to be involved in this very vital sector of our national economy. We do, however, recognize the value of bringing all of us and all of you here and to share useful information, insights, and guidelines to help us better strategize and effectively communicate in the event of a crisis on our island, which is likely to impact our industry. You know, our industry is very, very fragile. It will also provide us with the opportunity to hear from you, some of your ideas, your perspectives and views on how we can work together and develop responses and plan strategies to deal with these situations. As Sajid mentioned, crisis can take various forms and can come at any possible moment in a country's development. These can be natural disasters, crime against visitors, as well as any forms of mass protests. For us in tourism, there's always the concern of crime and violence against visitors, which are issues which we take very seriously. As an industry, we have to find the most creative and most professional ways of dealing with these situations before they impact too negatively on our industry. And an industry, as I said, as fragile and as vulnerable as tourism. Of course, as a small island, we are also vulnerable to natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes, which can occur at any given time. Clearly, the lessons from various other destinations which you'll be exposed to during this workshop with John Rose should serve us with useful and valuable insights of how to respond when such catastrophes occur. In the crisis communication strategy developed for the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, it is recognized that when a crisis hits, it unfolds rapidly and can lead to disorder and misunderstanding if advanced preparation has not been implemented. It suggests that a successful response requires a well-conceived and clearly defined process that has been tested and can be activated immediately. Crisis planning then has to be an ongoing process, while the execution of a crisis response must take place in a few minutes, in some cases hours, but in most cases minutes. So the actual communication strategy is key to this. It means therefore that we as a destination must be prepared well in advance to deal with any crisis, lest we find ourselves overwhelmed and overtaken by these circumstances and these events. In today's world, as we all know, which is engulfed by the World Wide Web and the various forms of technologies available to all and sundry, it is very important that as managers and leaders of this industry, that we are able to communicate the message which needs to be communicated to both inside and outside world. It is vitally important that we are able to communicate clear and unambiguous messages to our various audiences. We also need to do so with speed and with the best available tools at our disposal. So herein lies a challenge for us to be prepared, mobilize, and get the job done, so that whatever crisis which faces us do not leave any irreparable damage to both our livelihood and our survival. I am grateful to the Caribbean Tourism Organization and to its communication specialist, Mr. John Rose, for assisting us in this very worthwhile endeavor. Johnson is bringing to us his considerable expertise and skills to assist us in engendering a workable and practical guide to dealing and communicating as it relates to a crisis. I am heartened by the fact that his experience and consummate professionalism has been tested and is being tested and tried in many other Caribbean tourism organizations in the States, and he will tell you about his experiences. For us, therefore, today is the beginning of a new way of communicating and connecting with our customers and those who believe in the magic of our tourism product when something undesirable happens in our destination. Let me then wish the workshop every success and hope that together we can work towards making this a new beginning and an enduring one where we can work together to ensure that we communicate with our friends and many publics who have interest in what we do here. We can do so with speed, professionalism, and with a common sense that will dispel any notion of us being uncaring, lackadaisical, or seemingly unable to communicate in the most effective manner possible. On this note, I declare this crisis communication workshop open. I thank you.